Happy Friday. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brett. This is the 10th installment of Friday Fundamentals. So, double digits on this. So, thank you for making this happen and joining me on all of this. We'll jump right in. Let's get started. Real world recovery, financial Friday fundamentals, episode 10. Like I said, I'm Brett. Thanks for joining me. We're gonna, as the title says, we're gonna tackle a big component of financial health that is the other side of the math and money and the tangible side of it. So this is the emotional side, and oftentimes this, I know for me, this was at times the harder part of it. Um, the emotional side of money. So if you've ever felt ashamed of past financial mistakes, felt guilty about what you were spending your money on, or anxious about financial future, you're not alone. So today we're gonna just go over and talk about all of those things and how that can play an impact and play a part on our financial health and what we can do about it. So you know, money isn't just numbers. It's personal. It is pervasive. It impacts all different parts of our life. Like it or not, it's it impacts everything we do in our daily life and in our futures, and um, it's tied to our self-worth, to our past experiences, um, biggest fears. Um, but the good news, you don't have to be stuck in those feelings. Um, so you can reframe your mindset. We can build a healthier relationship with money, and we can start today. Don't put it off. Um, you know, um, Marcus Aurelius said, "You could be good today, but you choose to wait till tomorrow." So let's not wait. Let's start today. So here's what we're going to cover: where money, shame, guilt, anxiety, all of that comes from, how we can shift our mindset and our thoughts to build confidence in our financial decisions, and some simple actionable strategies that allow us to move forward without fear. So, first, let's talk about where all of these emotions come from. Understanding uh, that is important. We've got to understand where all of that comes from in order to do anything about it. So, money shame. That's a term that's often thrown around. So, where does money shame come from? Um, so, shame around money. It usually comes from early on messages that we picked up, when we were young, whether it was family, societies, or even our own past mistakes. Um, maybe we grew up in a home where money was always tight. Maybe we learned to fear financial insecurity. Maybe we grew up on edge a lot, paycheck to paycheck, or worse. Or maybe money was a secretive topic, and it just didn't get talked about. So, um, when mistakes were made, um, maybe it was like a feeling of being the only person who didn't understand it, right? Um, and then I think this one is probably, especially in the era of social media, I think this is probably the most common and crosses all of the socioeconomic um, boundary lines and everything. It's the comparison trap. It's very, very easy to hop onto social media and think, well, everybody else has their stuff together. Like, why am I struggling? I know I do it. Like, I see people that I grew up with, or people I used to work with, or just people I know able to go on vacations or raising families or buying houses or new cars or whatever it is. And it appears like they're very well off or they've got their finances in order. And the first thing we want to do is compare that to our own situation. Why don't I have that? Why am I not in that same position, right? Like it's human nature. We're going that comparison happens subconsciously and almost automatically. Like that's normal. But here's the real truth. That money shame, that whatever the reasoning that happens, whatever that conditioning is that we do that, it keeps us stuck. It stops action because we sit and dwell in that thinking instead of taking action and moving forward. It prevents us from looking at our finances, making a plan and doing something about it. And so then we just stay stuck and allow things to get worse. The first step in breaking free, same with recovery, same with doing anything positive in life, recognizing that it's just a feeling, recognizing that something needs to be done, and then doing something about it. So, guilt. Guilt's the next step, right? We first have that feeling, we feel stuck, and then we feel guilty, right? So, you ever feel guilty about spending money on something that was just for you? Maybe it was an impulse buy, or maybe it wasn't, but you just bought something because you just wanted to buy something for you, even if it wasn't in your budget, even if it was your money was a little tight, but you just had that voice in your head that was like, you shouldn't have bought that, right? Yeah, me too. We all do, I think. But guilt around money often comes from the belief that we don't deserve nice things, right? There's that feeling of like we don't deserve it. We don't deserve financial success. Or maybe you've been in a tough spot before, struggling with debt or relying on help from others or whatever. And now you feel guilty when you start to do better. Well, here's the thing, that guilt, just like the shame, it's not productive. It doesn't fix any of the stuff in the past. It's not changing any of the stuff that's already happened. And it doesn't make you any better with money. It's just adding stress onto the situation, right? So it's not helping the solution. It's not improving any of the actions that you're taking. And it's not making you feel any better about any of the positive steps that you're taking. So, what good's it doing? None. It doesn't, I mean, there's a difference between acknowledging that you have made a mistake and owning it and making amends or anything like that, and then carrying guilt. That carrying guilt, that's being selfish. Okay? That doesn't do you any good. So, own the own the behavior, change the behavior, move on. The guilt, that's not helping you improve. Financial anxiety, avoidance, these are some more things we do. And they're not helping. So financial anxiety, another thing that's preventing taking action. It's another thing that's preventing taking positive steps forward in our financial plans. So you might start see a trend here. These are things that are preventing us from taking these steps forward in making plans and making progress in the previous episodes that we've laid out here. So anything that's preventing you from getting started or moving forward, that's what we're talking about today. So financial anxiety, it's yet another thing that's stopping that forward momentum. Maybe it's avoiding checking your bank account because you're scared of what you see, right? Maybe you're avoiding paying those bills or making investment decisions because you don't want to do it wrong or you don't want to make a mistake. Maybe you stress about money all the time, even when things are improving, right? So you're constantly worrying, catastrophizing, and expecting the worst, even though you've been making good decisions. And even if they're tiny little baby steps, you're moving in the right direction, but you've still got that voice telling you that you're, you've got that voice saying that things aren't going right or something like that. The avoidance, it feels like short-term relief, but in the long term, it's making it worse. Not opening those bills, right? Not checking the bank account, right? Not making sure your budget is still meeting your your goals and your plans. Good news about these too. You can work through it. You can you can get right through those with some very simple steps. Guess what? That's what we're doing next. So, all we're doing here is some very simple reframing. And it's just a matter of tweaking some words, some of that inner monologue, how we talk to ourselves. We're going to flip the script. Okay? Instead of I'm bad with money, right? Those little things that oftentimes we just tell ourselves. It's I mean, we catch ourselves, saying these things out loud to other people too, maybe thinking we're being polite so that we don't come off sounding, you know, snobby or bragging or something like that to maybe try to make other people feel good or something. I don't know. But by putting ourselves down, we hear ourselves talking about ourselves. So instead of I'm bad with money, I'm learning to manage my money better. I'm working on managing my money better. I'm trying to get better with my money. Okay? You see how that's different without sounding grandiose or bragging, right? I'm not bad with money. I'm learning to manage my money better. I'm trying to make better money decisions. Okay? Mistakes are lessons. You can't learn something that you think you already know. Okay? So embrace being bad at something. Be okay with failing. Everybody makes them. What matters is what you do with them. Okay? The mistakes are going to happen. It's important to make them early. When you're making the small steps. It's far better when you're learning to invest if you make a bad investment with $5 than $5,000. It's far more important to make those bad decisions if you learn about a bad type of savings account if you only had $100 in there instead of 100,000. Make the mistakes early, learn the lesson early so that you learn the lesson. Embrace making the mistakes because that's when you're going to learn. Everybody makes mistakes. Get comfortable not knowing. Embrace that. Normalize talking about money. Talk to your friends. If you've got a friend that knows more about money, talk to them about it. Learn. The more we talk about it, the less power being awkward or feeling guilty or having shame about it, the less power that has over us. Normalize talking about it with people that you know are more comfortable with it. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Get around people who know more about the thing you want to know about. We're going to overcome guilt about spending. I talked about this before. Something that I tell everybody is you're allowed to spend money on things that bring you joy, that are important to you. The key is being intentional and having that conscious spending plan. That's why we set up this budget that we talk about, the 50-30-20. This is why we set up a plan for ourselves. We build this picture in our mind of like what an ideal life looks like. What makes us happy, what fills our battery up. And then the things that get us closer to that life, guilt-free, we spend money on that. It does not matter because we have a budget set up. We've got things automated that put the right percentage into that account so that there's money in there, and the money that's in there, we know it's in there and already budgeted that it's okay to spend. Things that don't get us closer to that, we mercilessly cut that out of our spending because we know it doesn't get us closer to that. Anything else, that's what releases that steam from the pressure cooker. We know that it's getting us closer to those things that bring us joy, that fill our batteries. That's our fun. That's our joy. That's what I'm spending my money. That's what I'm getting towards. That's my destination. That's like mental health. That's my self-care right there. Taking care of yourself financially isn't selfish. It's being responsible. It's taking care of yourself. And you can feel good about that. So manage your financial anxiety by taking some smart, manageable, actionable steps. You can reduce that anxiety with very, very small steps. And you just do these one at a time, repeat them, do the next right thing every day, just small, good decisions repeated over time. Keep tabs on your bank account, but not to judge yourself. It's information gathering. Just to paint yourself a picture like, how am I doing? Check in on yourself. Were there any impulse buys? If there were, okay. Something to be mindful of when I do my reflection at the end of the day. Okay. Something to be aware of. Maybe something to improve on the next day. Try to not be as impulsive on, whatever. Or if I wasn't, great, that's a win for the day. I did great on that. Set up the automatic transfers. Get something in place, even if it's just $5. Start somewhere. It's far better to start and start small than to wait. So many things are just wasted waiting. Like so many plans are just waiting to start. Think of all the things that you've thought of in your life that never got started because you were waiting for the right time, or waiting for this, or waiting for that. Just start. $5 out of your next paycheck. Put an automatic savings transfer in to move it to a whatever account, whether it's your fun account, your savings account, your investing account, whatever. Go check out the previous episodes I've got on how to set up the budget if you haven't watched that yet. How to set up the automated account transfers. Set it up. Start today. Schedule a money check-in. Once a week. Spend 10 minutes. Take a look at your finances. Make a plan. 50, 30, 20, you know? Take a snapshot and take a look at the, last week, see where your expenses, what your spending was like. Are you on pace? Are you not? If you haven't yet, get in get a signed up and get a copy of my cash flow worksheet. You can have a visual picture of how your money comes in and out throughout the month, and see if you've got to adjust when your bills are paid, because you can request from your credit cards and wherever else to change what day of the month your bills are due, so that you have a better flow through the month of when money comes in and then goes out. Um, build a healthy financial mindset. It's something we all need to hear. You're not your financial mistakes. You're not your debt. You're not behind. Okay? Talk to yourself like you'd talk to a friend. I mean, would you shame one of your best friends for making a past mistake? No, you'd encourage them. Do the same thing for yourself. Get on your team. Financial progress is not linear. Like, look at any stock market chart. It's not a straight line up. They go up and down all the time. Yours is not going to be any different. Some months are going to be great, others won't. That's normal. The thing that matters is being consistent with your effort, staying true to the effort. All right? Sticking to your plan, sticking with your systems, okay? So just the thing is, we've conditioned ourselves to think this is going to be difficult. We've talked ourselves out of being confident. So start simple, start small, start building your confidence. Pick one thing, whatever it is, pick one thing that you want to improve on. Maybe it's checking your accounts, and set a spending limit on something so that you normally tend to overspend on. Okay? Maybe that's it. Maybe start there. Surround yourself with people that uh, you want to learn from. Maybe surround yourself with people who are more encouraging, that want to give you a boost. Both of those things exist in our Discord. Hop into our Discord. Feel free to reach out. I'm happy to be your cheerleader if you got nobody else. Tune into some podcasts. I'm happy to give you some examples. I will give you the ones that I listen to in order to teach myself on all of this stuff. I will give you a list of books if you are interested. I am more than happy to share everything that I use to get where I'm at. Track every single little money win. I don't care how small. Keep a journal. Use an app. Whatever works for you. Every single little thing that checks off those little victories and keeps a chain of wins going, that is powerful for us as human beings. It reinforces that positive behavior and wants us to keep going. We don't want to break those chains. We are so conditioned to want to keep going. We do not like to break chains of habits like that. It will motivate you more than you think. So I know it may sound cheesy, but it really does work. And regardless of all of that, all of the other stuff, the shame, the guilt, the anxiety, the avoidance, none of that helps. I highly doubt anybody's going to argue with that. None of that helps. None of that makes you any progress. Find a way to get rid of it. Find a way to pivot. Use it as a way to shift into something positive. And do it today. Because tomorrow something will get in the way. between now and tomorrow, something will become more important. And then between tomorrow and the next day, you'll have forgotten. Do it today. Get started. So, yeah, these feelings are common. They don't have to control you, but by reframing and shifting that mindset and taking those small intentional steps, you can start to build confidence and really see results in financial decisions. So, what I'd like to see is you identify one negative belief, one negative self talk thing that you do about money and reframe it in a positive way. Set up a money check in for next week. No judgment, just awareness. Just use it as information gathering. Learn something about yourself and your money habits for next week. And then share a small win, just whatever kind of little victory that you had with somebody that you trust, or in the Discord, or if you want in the comments down below, um, and give yourself a pat on the back. Um, it's important to see those wins. It's important to focus on them. Um, and then reach out. There's all kinds of tools out there that are freely available, or books that you can use over and over and over again that definitely pay for themselves in what they teach and what their returns are. So, and if you have any questions as well, I'm happy as always to be available and be a resource. So, please feel free to reach out. So for next time, I think we're going to possibly be moving to every other week. I have to check. I'll keep posted in the socials and on the post. I'll make a post on the YouTube. There's a few other things coming up, so but I'll definitely have plenty of notice. So other things coming as well. Stay tuned on our Facebook and on the other socials. So until next time, don't let yourself talk yourself out of making progress. Get started. Small, consistent, good decisions. Repeat them over time. You will see results. Until then, progress, not perfection. Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you next time.